7 Shaolin principles that will transform your mindset forever. Buddha says, "A man who conquers himself is mightier than one who conquers 1,000 in battle." Welcome to Monk Mode Motivation. Let's take a deep breath and imagine ourselves at the foot of the ancient Shaolin Temple, nestled in the misty folds of the Shaolin Mountains. The air here seems to hum with centuries of wisdom, and every stone has a story carved by discipline and self-mastery. Here's the thing. The wisdom of the Shaolin monks isn't some ancient relic locked away in dusty scrolls. It's a living, breathing philosophy that you can use right now to create profound change in your own life. Think about it, a monk's training isn't just about breaking bricks or enduring harsh winters. It's about learning how to break the walls inside your own mind, how to weather the storms of your thoughts, and how to build a fortress of calm that nothing can shake. The Shaolin principles are like lanterns lighting up the dark corners of everyday life, showing us how to respond with strength, patience, and clarity, even when chaos is knocking at the door. So, whether you're sitting in a bustling city or listening in a quiet room, these timeless lessons have the power to strip away distractions and reveal your true potential. This isn't about perfection, but about progressing on a journey to becoming a little more present, a little more resilient, and a lot more in tune with your purpose. Let's dive in and uncover the 7 Shaolin principles that can turn the tides in your mind, unlock new energy, and set you on a path to lasting transformation. Principle 1. Xin Ding Ru Jing. The mind must be still like calm water. Let's set the scene. Imagine yourself in the hush of early morning, inside the old stone halls of the Shaolin Temple. The faint light seeps through ancient lattice windows, painting patterns on the floor as a master and a wide-eyed novice stand together. The novice, bursting with questions about strength and speed, is handed a simple bowl of water. "Run," the master says, "but spill nothing." It sounds almost too easy until the first step sloshes the water dangerously close to the edge. The lesson hits. Without inner calm, even a steady hand will falter. This is the spirit of Xin Ding Ru Jing. The mind must settle like still water. Imagine a pond after a rainstorm, muddy, cloudy, impossible to see through. But leave it undisturbed, and the dirt sinks, the water clears. Our minds are no different. When we let worries, doubts, and distractions swirl, we lose sight of our goals, our purpose, and sometimes even ourselves. True Shaolin discipline begins here, not with flying kicks or shattered bricks, but with training the mind to stop reacting at every ripple. It's about learning to pause right before your emotions run wild, before your words become arrows, before your choices turn into regrets. Shaolin monks believe that a calm mind is more precise than the sharpest blade. It's the compass that keeps you on your path, no matter how wild the storm is. So, how do you practice this? Forget hour-long meditations if you're new to this. Start small. Every morning, claim 5 sacred minutes just for yourself. Sit comfortably, close your eyes, and focus on the gentle rise and fall of your breath. When stray thoughts try to crash your peace, greet them like passing clouds. Notice, but don't chase. Here's a trick. Next time you're about to fire off a text in anger or snap back at someone, take one silent breath and picture your mind as a glass of water. Is it stormy or is it clear? Only act when the surface is smooth. In a noisy, always-on world, choosing stillness is rebellious and powerful. The more you practice, the easier it gets. Soon, you'll find clarity where there was confusion and strength where there was stress. Remember, a mind at peace is your greatest ally. It's the foundation for every other transformation ahead. Principle 2. Ku Xin Nan Xin. Embrace hardship, for it tempers the soul. Here's the thing most people miss. Real growth doesn't sprout from a bed of roses. It comes from mud, from friction, and from getting your hands dirty with effort. Ku Xin Nan Xin isn't just a poetic line. It's a battle cry for anyone tired of feeling stuck. It means bitter practices create sweet outcomes. The Shaolin masters know this better than anyone. Their daily reality is a grind, pushing their bodies to the edge, waking up before dawn, repeating moves until muscles burn and the mind begs for a break. But here's the secret. They don't run from discomfort. They sprint toward it, high-fiving the pain, knowing each challenge is an invitation to become unbreakable. Picture this. While most of the world is hitting snooze or searching for the quickest shortcut, Shaolin monks are standing barefoot in the snow, holding their stances steady as mountains. Not because they love suffering, but because every shiver is a lesson. To them, hardship is a forge, and each cold wind, each drop of sweat, is another hammer shaping a stronger self. Modern life tries to convince us that comfort equals happiness, soft couches, instant meals, endless distractions. But the monks flip the script. They say, take a cold shower, sit with silence, turn away from temptation, even if your brain whines like a hungry puppy. Why? Because true freedom is the ability to choose discomfort on purpose. Trying this for yourself doesn't mean you have to climb a mountain or meditate for hours on end. Start small. Skip that second helping at dinner. Take the stairs instead of the elevator. Switch off your phone and sit with your own thoughts for 5 minutes. Notice how uneasy it feels? That's your mind stretching beyond its old limits. Each act of voluntary hardship is like leaving a deposit in your resilience bank. Over time, these tiny choices stack up. Suddenly, the things that once rattled you, an awkward conversation, a stressful deadline, a moment of self-doubt, now feel lighter, almost laughable. Here's a challenge for you. Each day this week, pick one small thing that makes you itch with discomfort and lean into it. Maybe it's waking up a bit earlier. Maybe it's holding back a quick retort in an argument. Or maybe it's just sitting in stillness instead of scrolling. It won't be easy, transformation never is, but that's exactly the point. The Shaolin path isn't about escaping pain. It's about using pain as the raw material for greatness. So ask yourself, what cozy habit is secretly keeping you fragile? What minor hardship could you adopt today as your personal training ground? Every time you choose the harder road, no matter how tiny, you're not just building discipline. You're proving little by little that your spirit is tougher than any obstacle life throws your way. And as the days stack up, you'll find yourself standing taller, thinking sharper, and ready for whatever storm comes next. That's the magic of Ku Xing Nan Xing. Bitterness today, sweetness tomorrow. Principle 3. Ji Xing Hei Yi. Unity of knowledge and action. Here's the secret sauce. At Shaolin, you don't just learn discipline. You become it from the inside out. This isn't about filling your head with clever sayings or collecting wisdom like souvenirs on a shelf. Ji Xing Hei Yi is the ultimate Shaolin flex. Knowing something is only the first step. Living it, breathing it, and folding it into every move you make. That's where the real magic happens. Think about it. These days, we're swimming in information. Podcasts, books, endless social feed. Everyone's got a tip, a hack, a shortcut. But wisdom isn't about how much you know. It's what you do with every ounce of it when your feet hit the floor in real life. The Shaolin monk doesn't just nod along when someone mentions stillness or patience. They turn those words into muscle memory, choosing patience when traffic crawls, picking kindness over ego in a heated moment, and showing up for themselves even when no one's watching. Want inner peace? Don't just pin quotes about calmness. Wake up and practice 5 minutes of stillness every single day until quiet becomes your second skin. Want to be strong? It's not about reading every fitness blog or watching heroic training montages. Get up, do the push-ups, take the cold shower. Let your body remember what effort feels like. Want wisdom? Take a walk alone, journal your tangled thoughts, or sit in silence and see what truths bubble up. The point is, reading about transformation and experiencing it are galaxies apart. Here's the real kicker. Shaolin practice doesn't let you hide behind talk. You become what you repeat, so let your actions set the pace. Show up for your own teachings, even on the days you'd rather hit snooze or scroll away discomfort. And don't overthink it. The gap between thinking and doing is bridged by one tiny act at a time. This isn't about perfection. It's about stubborn, daily faithfulness to what you value. Forget waiting for motivation or the right mood. Pick one thing you want to live. Maybe it's non-reactivity, maybe it's courage, maybe it's generosity. For a week, make that value your North Star. Try it on for size and traffic, at work, with family, with strangers. Watch what happens when your knowledge stops living in your head and starts moving through your hands and feet. Mini challenge. Grab a sticky note, write down a principle you admire, something you want to become, not just talk about. Stick it somewhere you can't miss it. For 7 days, let your choices echo that principle. No lectures, no hashtags, just live truth, moment by moment. That's the Shaolin difference. The world doesn't change because you know. It changes because you do. Principle 4. Zhong Yong Zi Dao, the way of balance. Let's break it down. Shaolin isn't about swinging from one extreme to another. No all or nothing. No burning the candle at both ends or sleeping through your life. The middle way is the secret sauce, the art of walking right down the center, where discipline and gentleness shake hands. That's the heartbeat of real growth. Picture a monk at dawn, greeting the world with steady breath. They don't just grind until they collapse or lounge until the mind turns to mush. You'll see them move through their day like dancers, sometimes fierce as a storm, sometimes calm as a quiet pond. Their training is intense, hours of sweat and grit, yet every burst of effort is balanced by deliberate rest and mindful moments. They're not just strong or serene. They're both woven together. It's tempting in our world to glorify the hustle. Go harder, push more, never stop. But the Shaolin wisdom says, know when to surge and know when to step back. It's not a weakness to rest, just as it isn't recklessness to give everything you have when the time calls for it. Balance isn't a static pose. It's a lively dialogue between action and pause, power and gentleness, ambition and acceptance. Ask yourself, when did you last listen to your own rhythms? Maybe you're sprinting toward a goal, but burning out like a match. Maybe you're so comfortable you've forgotten what challenge feels like. The way of balance nudges you to find that sweet spot, where you're sharp but not frazzled, confident without arrogance, persistent but also forgiving when you stumble. Here's a practice straight from the Shaolin playbook. As you step into each morning, pause for a beat and ask, what part of me needs a push today? What part of me needs a breather? Don't be fooled. Mastering balance is active, not passive. It's like tuning an instrument. Too tight and the string snaps, too loose and there's no music. When you find your groove, life hums around you. Challenges feel doable, and setbacks don't send you spiraling. You become the eye of your own storm, grounded and ready, whatever comes. Remember, balance isn't about staying in the middle for safety's sake. It's about being awake to what the moment asks of you. Sometimes that means stepping up, other times stepping aside, always with intention. That's where real strength lives, not in endless effort, but in choosing when to act, when to rest, and when to simply be. Principle 5. Guan Xin Ziai Ran. Observe the nature of your own mind. Shaolin doesn't try to tame your mind as if it's a wild animal that must obey. Instead, it nudges you to become its curious companion, to watch its moods and wanderings, like you're sitting on a riverbank, noticing each leaf that floats by. Know the nature of your thoughts, and you are no longer ruled by them. That's the real Shaolin insight. It's not about slapping a label on every feeling, anger, worry, envy, and shoving it into a box. It's about shining a flashlight into the attic of your mind and actually seeing what's there, dust bunnies and all. The mind will serve up the same old stories, the greatest hits of fear, regret, or restless ambition, again and again. But you don't have to buy a ticket to every show. Training at Shaolin is like being both the artist and the art critic. You sweat through forms and meditations, but you also step back and notice the brushstrokes of emotion, the patterns of your thinking. When a surge of frustration arrives, you don't stuff it out or pretend it's not happening. You let it stand in the light, say, "Hey, I see you," and let it do its little dance until it fades. Some days, it stomps like a toddler. Others, it just tiptoes in and out. Either way, you're the one in the audience, not on the stage. Real strength, Shaolin style, isn't gritting your teeth and pretending you're untouchable. It's being brave enough to sit with yourself, to witness your own mental storms, and realize the sky is still there, blue and wide, behind every cloud. The more you notice, the less you're dragged around by old habits and knee-jerk reactions. Here's a challenge for next time anger, doubt, or sadness starts stirring. Instead of jumping to fix it or squashing it down, hit pause. Ask yourself, what's this really about? Is there a story I keep telling myself here? Or is this just a passing weather front? Even a couple seconds of honest observation can break you out of the trance. When you approach your inner world with this kind of gentle curiosity, you start to live from the driver's seat, not the trunk. Over time, you'll discover that clarity and calm aren't distant mountain peaks. They're waiting right under your nose, hidden in plain sight. And little by little, you become the one steering your own story, no longer just a passenger on the ride. Principle 6. Jing Zhong Bao Guo, loyalty and devotion to your path. Let's get real. Loyalty and devotion aren't just old-fashioned words you dust off for ceremonies. They're the fuel that keeps you walking your path when every muscle in your body is screaming for you to bail. Jing Zhong Bao Guo is all about holding fast to what matters most, even when distractions, doubts, or disappointments show up in force. Picture this. You make a promise to yourself, a vow that matters. Not just a casual "maybe I'll try," but a deep, own-level commitment. Something you whisper to yourself in the dead of night when nobody else is listening. For a Shaolin monk, this means standing guard at the gates of your own heart, staying faithful to your practice, your teachers, your own highest vision, no matter how tough the training or how tempting the shortcuts. Loyalty isn't blind obedience. It's a decision you make every single day. But hey, let's not turn this into a punishment marathon. True devotion is not about white-knuckling your way through life or beating yourself up for every stumble. It's about returning repeatedly to what you care about, the art, the goal, the person, the principle, even when nobody's cheering you on. Think less drill sergeant, more best friend who won't let you give up on your dreams. This is the fiber that runs through the heart of every Shaolin tradition. Not quitting when sweat pours and legs shake, but showing up and doing the work, rain or shine. Here's the twist. Jing Zhong Bao Guo doesn't mean locking yourself into a rigid box. Discipline by itself can get brittle. It'll snap if you never let yourself breathe. Likewise, devotion without any backbone is just wishful thinking. When you braid the two together, you get a rope strong enough to pull you through storms. Try this. Write out your vow, not what you think you should promise, but what actually makes your soul sit up and pay attention. Keep it short, keep it honest. Stick that sentence somewhere you'll see it every day. In your mirror, your phone, your breakfast cereal. Let it be your North Star whenever you start drifting off course. And one more thing. When you wobble, don't waste time on guilt trips. Loyalty and devotion are living things. They grow every time you choose them, especially on hard days. So next time you're tempted to quit, ask yourself, What would someone truly loyal to their path do right now? Then do that, even if it's just one tiny, stubborn step forward. The heart of Shaolin isn't about never falling. It's about standing up, dusting yourself off, and recommitting to your path over and over. That's devotion that can move mountains. Principle 7. Wu Wei, Effortless Flow, and the Art of Doing Without Forcing. And now, let's dive into the wildest and most mysterious principle of all. Wu Wei. This isn't just a fancy saying your yoga instructor drops at the end of class. This is the ancient Shaolin secret sauce, the one that ties all the other principles together. Wu Wei is often called effortless action. It isn't about sitting around waiting for the universe to do your laundry. It's about moving with life, not muscling against it. Imagine you're paddling a canoe on a river. If you fight the current, thrashing, struggling, trying to outrun the water, you end up exhausted, maybe even tipped over. But what if you learn to read the river instead, to glide with its bends, to paddle at just the right moments and coast when the water carries you? That's Wu Wei in action, aligning with the natural flow instead of burning out fighting the inevitable. Shaolin wisdom teaches that real strength isn't always about force. Sometimes it's about timing, relaxation, and trust. A monk throwing a punch doesn't clench every muscle and grit their teeth. They release tension, wait for the perfect instant, then let their training do the work. The impact comes not from struggle, but from precision and ease. The same goes for speaking. You don't have to fill every silence or control every conversation. Say what matters, hold back what doesn't, and let your words land with intention. But Wu Wei isn't a free pass to be passive. It's an invitation to engage with the world fully, then unhook from the outcome. Plant the seeds, water them, but don't dig them up every morning to see if they've sprouted. The tree grows at its own pace, not because you're staring at it or yelling, "Hurry up." That's the heart of this principle. Do what's needed with your whole heart, then release your grip and trust the process. Try this out. The next time you catch yourself obsessing over results, whether it's a big exam, a job interview, a relationship, or a creative project, notice that white-knuckle urge to control. Take a deep breath. Remind yourself, I've done what I can. Now it's time to let the current do its thing. This isn't laziness, it's wisdom. It's understanding that some things are in your hands, and some are in the hands of the universe. Practicing Wu Wei can feel weird at first, especially if you've been taught that hustle is everything. But stick with it, and you'll discover a kind of freedom and confidence that's uncheckable. Life gets less rigid, more adventurous. You become a co-creator rather than a control freak. And here's the wild part. Things often work out better when you stop fighting so hard. So, after you've shown up and done your best, give yourself permission to unclench. Sit back, breathe, and let gratitude fill the space where anxiety used to be. Let go not as a failure, but as an act of trust. The river knows where it goes. Your job is to paddle when called and float when you can, letting life's mysteries unfold in their own good time. These 7 Shaolin principles aren't some ancient scrolls you tuck away for a rainy day. They're practical hands-on tools forged in the fires of trial and sweat by generations, who didn't just talk the talk, but walked it barefoot over hot stones. They're not locked behind monastery walls. They're right here, waiting for anyone gutsy enough to show up for themselves, day after day. You might be sitting in your kitchen or stuck in traffic, not meditating atop a misty mountain, but that's the beauty of it. The temple isn't in some faraway land. It's wherever you make room for these teachings. Your ordinary moments, your coffee brewing, side hustling, heartbreak nursing, dream chasing moments are the real training ground. When you decide, really decide, to bring stillness into your stormy days, speak the truth even if your voice trembles, and keep moving down your path even when you trip, something wild happens. You stop being just a passenger and start steering with both hands on the wheel, your heart as your compass. The world won't always roll out a red carpet, but these principles help you lace up and step forward anyway, with an unshakable kind of grace. Transformation isn't a lightning bolt. It's a commitment, renewed every time you fall and get up. Every time you choose kindness over comfort. Every time you let go of what's not yours to hold. Stillness isn't silence. It's hearing your own soul above the noise. Truth isn't a grand speech. It's the courage to whisper what matters when no one's watching. The path isn't out there on some distant horizon. It's the ground beneath your feet right now. If any of this stirs something inside you, let that spark catch. Stick around. Subscribe, pause to breathe. Come back whenever you need a recharge or a reminder that you're not walking alone. Your journey isn't about reaching some mystical finish line. It's about the little victories you claim and the peace you find as you keep going, step by step, imperfect. This is what monk mode motivation is really about, living wide awake, fierce and gentle at once. So, until next time, carry calm like a torch, move with intention, and walk through this wild, unpredictable life with a deep knowing that peace and power have always been yours to claim. Ready? Your story starts right here with the next breath, and the next, and the next. Let's go. If you like this video and want to support this channel, please hit the subscribe button below and turn on the notifications. Also, like and share this video with people who you think could use some monk mode motivation. Until next time, walk in peace.